Hey guys, welcome back to Blessed and OCC Obsessed. It's an hour after my shift ended, and I knew I was going to post another video. I was actually going to do it tomorrow, but I was reading your comments from my last video, and I decided to just address them here. Hopefully all of you will come back. I answered a few of them already from your comments, but hopefully you will watch this video. And you had some great questions that I think would benefit the others. So to share my experience tonight, it was a lot of the same that I already shared with you in regards to, making sure to educate, be educated on following the OCC guidelines. But you know what? Ultimately, this is an opportunity for all of us because, the majority of you that are watching this video, not the majority of you, but there are several of you watching this video who are going to volunteer at a processing center. And I would encourage the rest of you who have an opportunity to do so. It's a great experience. It is also a great opportunity for us to encourage new shoebox packers. I was fortunate enough to only have two different teams. The first team was there until 6 o'clock, and they were a team of 9. This team does not pack shoe boxes, but they come and volunteer. More than half of them volunteer every year, and they usually bring friends, but none of them actually packed a shoebox. And then the second team I got, about half an hour after that one left, was another team of, there was actually a total of 20 of them. So they divided them into 2 tables and we were next to each other. This was another team, you guys, that comes every year, but they don't pack shoe boxes. So it gave me an opportunity to share the purpose of Operation Christmas Child. A lot of them, they kind of knew, but it gave me an opportunity to talk to them about the other side of what they're doing, the side that packs the shoe boxes, and you can do that too. So if I know there are a few of you on here, like Val and Denise, that and Kelly, you guys are going to the processing center. Get to know the people that you're working with. If you're not going with the big team, you can potentially create new shoebox packers. But, I didn't really see anything different than what I shared with you yesterday. But your questions, you had legitimate questions that I want to just go down. Like I said, I want to go down your comments and just answer them. One of the questions was they hoped that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle was put in a box. Yes, it was almost immediately put in a box because as a table coach, we are encouraged to continually, periodically look in the inappropriate bin because we are pulled in 100 different directions, and you can't always see what your inspectors are doing. So a good gauge is to check that inappropriate to make sure that they're not pulling things they shouldn't be, because we are there to answer questions. We encourage them to ask us when they have questions, but sometimes we may be at the other table. We cover each other's breaks, and so they feel like they knew and they pull it. And so this is what happened with the turtle. And I reached down and when I put it back in the bin, it was an opportunity to explain that it was an okay item. And it blessed another shoebox that came through the line that was in need of some extra love. And so, that's kind of going to go down to another comment and a concern by another one of the comments about being worried about a little mermaid being pulled from a box. It might happen. This is what I encourage with all my videos. The comment also was concerned about maybe needing to be more careful with what they pack out of fear that someone will misunderstand and take the mermaid out. Trust God. If God lays it on your heart to pack that mermaid, pack that mermaid. Yes, there is a potential, as with a lot of my shoe boxes. I packed a lot of items that I'm sure is going to rub someone the wrong way. They're going to disagree with it and may get pulled. But I have a fantastic night shift manager that has always been encouraging and continually encourage us to remember to trust God has a plan for all of these shoe boxes. Maybe that plan was this beautiful packed shoe box that I packed, had more than it needed in it, but the next box coming on down the line actually needed that item that was removed, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, that Little Mermaid, if that happened. So don't worry. Don't let fear that something that you are encouraged to pack is going to end up being pulled. It will get to a child. The table coaches, team leads, those of us in yellow shirts, when we find something that can be packed, we put it back in the filler bin. If it gets past us and it goes in the blue bucket, it goes into the center where there is a inappropriate station. People go through the items to make sure that what was pulled actually needs to be given to a donation, or it goes back to a table to be put in a shoebox. So your items will be packed. This turtle was packed. It was packed in a box that needed a wow item for a 5 to 9. And as Denise noticed when she went to the processing center today, the filler items that you get in the middle bin, you don't get to pick and choose, and you may get 4 buckets that have a whole bunch of little bitty items and nothing big to fill into your boxes. That is something that when you take the survey, you can, you can ask Samaritan's Purse to be more mindful of that. I'm not 100% sure how all that works. But when you're given the survey, that is a good place to put your concerns about those filler items. I'm sorry, I'm going back to look at these questions. I want to make sure that I get, that I touch on some of the questions and concerns. I always encourage all of us who love OCC to get involved in encouraging and inspiring others, whether it's becoming a project leader at your church, joining us that are YouTubers, and sharing your beautiful boxes and your tips and tricks. Those are always helpful. I like to talk about those with the people that I encounter at the processing center as well. And actually anybody who will listen, I even talk about it at Dollar Tree. I had a lot of questions over Black Friday. I had one at a Family Dollar because I bought every single one of their little Ninja Turtle cars that they had for $1.25, and he's like, "What are you going to do with these things?" So it gave me an opportunity to talk about Operation Christmas Child. Dawn asked about why there's not a list of items that can and cannot send at the processing center. Well, there's not a long list, but there is right in the middle of the processing table, there is a very short and sweet inappropriate items to be removed. You are also allowed to tell to look on the Samaritan's Purse website, and you can use the same what's okay to send app that they've got while they're there at the table. And if all else fails, you have floor managers that can come answer those questions as well. And yes, someone made a comment that the first time packers just don't know. And you are right. That is a lot of times, most of the time, that is the case. And we've got to keep that in mind. People want to be involved. They want to pack shoe boxes. They just don't know yet. And so again, that's my encouragement to you. You all obviously love OCC as much as I do because you're watching my videos and you're on our Facebook pages. And so let's encourage one another. And, we just make each year get a little bit better. There was someone who asked about what happens if someone brings in a really oversized box that is jammed full. Is there a size limit? No, there is not a size limit. They will get put in a box. The goal is to get as close to 15 boxes in a carton to be sent. And so those of us on the table coaching what we try to do is if a carton comes in from collection week and it's nothing but big boxes, what we try to do is limit one big box per carton that will be actually sent to the receiving country. So we'd put one big like boot size box and then a whole bunch of little ones to get as many in that carton as we can. There are I did see the last 2 days, I had 2 boxes come through and they were regular go boxes, regular green and red boxes, and they were so full. And honestly, they were full of great stuff, guys. They were so full that the wow item on both of them were actually gorgeous little stuffies. And they weren't they were not the PetSmart stuffies. I've never seen these stuffies on either one of these, and they were gorgeous. And it was one yesterday and one today. The box was already full of awesome items. And then they laid this stuffy on the top. So the lid was literally perpendicular, and they just used a bunch of rubber bands just to hold it together. And that's how the drop-off location sent it to us. And the processing center has what's called a Shoebox hospital, and they have bigger boxes that they can put all this stuff into and transfer that label. So the person who sent it will still know where their box went and it will go safely. So I had most of the questions were the concerns about the items that were pulled. Those items that were pulled, because they are appropriate, they will go in a shoebox. And so again, we hate hearing it because we put so much love in our boxes. But we also know, and we've heard stories that these boxes go where they need to go. And those items are going where they need to go. So just try to look at it that way. Pray for your boxes when you pack them, that they get to where they're going, and then, trust God. That's all we can do, guys. The only thing I want to leave you with is, again, for those of you who are going to the processing center, and is to remember you have an opportunity to be a light and share your joy and your love of packing with those around you. And again, team coaches, we can get extremely busy, especially when we're covering each other's breaks and lunches. And if you are experienced with OCC, they love that you are there. So you can, if you're on the table, you can be helpful as well with those around you. Our primary goal is to give everybody a wonderful experience. And I hope and pray that I am doing that for those here in the Dallas Processing Center. One of the hardest things as the table coach is having to tell that person who removes those items that it's okay to send, because some of them are very convicted on what they don't think should go in a box. And yes, OCC, we need to trust that the people inspecting the boxes are being led to know what to take out of the box. But sometimes they just don't know. They don't mean to out of those convictions, but they're just baffled that somebody would pack a particular item. So again, that's kind of along the same lines of the shoeboxes not being packed to the same standards because they're just new to it. And that's honestly the case. Like I said, the two teams that I had today, loved every one of them. They were all great people. And I was just truly amazed that they don't actually pack shoe boxes. So I did my darndest to try to encourage them to pack them. But anyway, I need to head to bed. So I will get this uploaded, and I hope that this is encouraging and sheds a little bit more light. And who knows, maybe I'll have more tomorrow. If you have more questions, I love answering them. And you know, if you live close to a processing center and you haven't done it, I really encourage that you do. So until my next video, guys, bye.